Jacob Lopez back here with another video. I'm going to be talking about something that I think a lot of people think about, but it's not something that's really always on their mind, but it is something their parents kind of tell them to be prepared for. And that is what happens after high school. Now, I can't speak for everyone. I especially can't speak for people that go to a big university or anything like that, because me personally, I go to a community college. Alright, so, I'm not, at the moment, I'm not getting like the full, I guess, college experience of going out and partying all the time, stuff like that. And that may not be the whole thing, that may not be all that goes into it. I'm not sure, because me personally, I'm not going through that. So I'm going to kind of tell you from my perspective what really happens. Probably one of the big things, you have a lot more time. You really do have a lot more time to do whatever you really want. High school, you would stay in class about 8 hours a day. Once you got home, after whatever extracurricular activities you had, like me, I was in band, okay? I was in the drum line, so, we had practice during summer, fall, and, sometimes even into winter. You never really had enough time, because once you got home, then if you did your homework, you would do your homework. If you studied, you would study, you would do all that kind of stuff. Your day was really planned out all the time. You really didn't have much time to do anything other than that. I take 4 classes, and I take them all on the same day. And even then, I take 3 classes in the morning and 1 at night. I have like all day to do whatever I want during that day. And then on Monday and Wednesdays, I do whatever I want. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I can do whatever I want. And that's the thing, you really do just get a lot of time, and you realize it. Now, this is where it can get a little bit tricky, though. Because once if you have a job, once they find out that you have a lot more time, they'll probably ask if they can schedule you more. And, some people will say no, because they're not going to want to work more, stuff like that. They'll be like, oh no, I'll be studying and all this kind of stuff. I mean, personally, I'd say yes, because, more hours, more money, plain and simple. But another thing about it is the work in college can be a bit harder. People think going to community college and stuff like that, like, oh, you're stupid and all this kind of stuff, and this person has no intelligence level whatsoever. I don't believe that. I'm not gonna downgrade anybody's intelligence because of the school they go to. I don't think that's very fair. Work can be harder than high school, especially if you really don't put yourself into it. Like me personally, I know sometimes I won't really put myself into it all the time. I'll kind of be like, do I want to? Because it's a lot of work. It can come out to a lot of work. It's not as much as high school, though. Like high school, you were taking like 8 or 9 classes a day. Maybe lunch was probably the 9th. So you really did get overloaded. Unless you were in like a block schedule where you had the long yada yada, the long classes, whatever. But you really were overloaded all the time, like, because every class would give you homework, and they'd be like, all right, go ahead and do this. And it's like, well, I got homework for another class. Well, oh well, do mine. And that was what kind of sucked about that whole thing. College is like the high school you always wanted. I know, especially for my community college, everyone's pretty chill. There's no drama, stuff like that. There's no like relationship. People aren't all up in your business, stuff like that. Everyone kind of keeps to themselves, does their work, listens. Some people are kind of a chatterbox. They'll sit there and they'll keep talking about something in class over and over again. It's like, come on, man, like, we're trying to get on with what we're doing. But, it's not too big of a deal, You can really sit back and enjoy yourself and actually learn, instead of, sometimes hating the people that you were with. And this is where it comes to you being treated like an adult. Now, this can be a good and a bad thing. Now, the good thing about this is, you're treated like an adult, plain and simple. That's what we wanted in high school, to be treated like an adult. We were sick of being treated like little kids, and they finally start treating you like an adult, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. You really have to take into consideration when you're talking about being treated like an adult is you really got to think about the bad things about that. And, there's not much bad about it, but there kind of is. You're really kind of considered, you have to think of yourself as being independent at that point. you know, instructors, professors, whatever you want to call them, they're not going to hold your hand, right? You know, like high school teachers, they really did that, and we didn't really think about how much they actually did it, you know. Professors and stuff, they'll tell you about an essay, you know, they'll repeat it a few times, but they really just, they don't hold your hand. They don't tell you the specifics. They don't tell you exactly, you know, what to write and stuff like that. And I know high school teachers didn't really tell you exactly, but that's kind of what it felt like sometimes. It really, you got to be independent is a lot of, and I know a lot of people want to be independent, you know, they want to consider themselves independent, stuff like that, but when it really comes down to getting classwork and stuff done, like all of that, it can really get a little bit frustrating having to be independent, because sometimes you'll get like, you get kind of scolded for asking, you know, you won't always get scolded for asking questions, but if you ask too many questions about the same thing, a teacher will probably get pretty annoyed about it. So it's a lot of just independence, stuff like that, and they really expect you to be responsible and on top of your game and everything. And while it's not really a bad thing, it's just something to really consider when you're planning on, you know, if you really want to think about how it feels to be treated like an adult. You got to think about the independence and the responsibility factor and stuff like that. So not a lot of bad. It really is just pretty good. You know, you can't really say that being treated like an adult is a very bad thing. So, you know, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for coming back and checking out my channel. Thanks for checking out my videos. Yeah, come back if you're a new person. Hopefully my videos are entertaining to you. I think they will be. I think it just gives you something to think about. But like I said, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.